Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mrs. Rast. Today we are taking notes over two religions, both beginning in ancient times in India, but unlike with Mesopotamia and Egypt, Hinduism and Buddhism are still practiced today. This video is over Hinduism. About 80% of the Indian population still follows this religion today, and it is practiced in other parts of the world. You have a handout for your notes today, so I would always pause the video when you see red writing, write down whatever you need to write down, and then hit play and just sit back and listen to the video and read what's on the screen. Okay, here we go. The time period that we're looking at is after the collapse of the Indus River Valley civilizations. So Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa are gone. We have a new group of nomadic tribesmen coming into this area called the Aryans. As they move into India, they develop a strict system of social classes called the caste system. We will get to that in just a little bit. The Hindu religion starts with these early people, the Aryans, and it evolves over time. It's not one person creating one main idea. It's many people, many ideas, just being shaped over a long period of time. Okay, so the ideas of Hinduism. Hinduism is a polytheistic religion. So if you remember what polytheism means, it is a worship of many gods. Hindus do have many gods, but the three main gods that we're going to look at here are called Brahma, the creator; Shiva, which is in the middle, is the destroyer; and Vishnu is the preserver. Now, that may seem kind of superhero-ish to you, but think of it as the cycle of life. So, for example, Brahman could create a tree. Okay, the tree grows. Shiva could impact the tree. Maybe there's a storm or it gets torn down or a forest fire. But Vishnu, the preserver, brings back the cycle of life with a new tree. So, more of a cycle of life versus a superhero movie or story. The Aryans were very concerned about their social structure and had a lot of rules about what people could and could not do. And so this is called the caste system. It's very rigid, like a cast on a broken arm. And the caste system divides Indian society based into groups based on a person's wealth, birth, or job. And this is something that they always remain in. So you cannot move out of this social structure like maybe in the United States you could get an education and move up in terms of your economic wealth or education. Here you're stuck. So we have the four main divisions. The Brahmins are the highest, and they are the priest, and they're most important because they communicate with the gods. The Kshatriyas are the rulers and warrior class. Vaishyas are farmers, traders, and crafts workers, so more specialized work. The Sudras are laborers. And then lastly, there's an unofficial or informal group called the Untouchables. And they do the jobs that no one else wants, like removal of waste, or if an animal had died, they would clean up the body. They are shunned by society, and the caste system really determines, who you're marrying, who you have friendships with, what your job is going to be, where you're going to live, what you're going to eat, how you're going to worship. It is all encompassing. Other beliefs that are important to Hinduism. First thing, they have a sacred text or a holy book called the Vedas. You can see that up in the corner. It would be very similar to a Christian Bible, and this is a book that has been around since the time of the Aryans. There is no heaven in Hinduism. What they believe in is reincarnation or a process of rebirth. The main goal of Hinduism, though, is to escape the cycle of reincarnation and unite with Brahma, and this goal is called moksha. How you're reincarnated depends on your karma, which is the effects of good or bad actions that have an effect on a person's soul. So, for example, let's say you were a Sudra, kind of at the lower end of the caste system, but you did a great job, you were a good person, always good actions. Then as a Hindu, you might be reincarnated a step up. Or maybe if you were a Brahmin and you had bad karma, you were mean, you were cruel to people, bad actions, then in your reincarnation you might be moved down a step on the caste system. One other belief of Hinduism is that they believe in something called dharma. This is your duty to accept your place in the world without complaint. So if you are born an untouchable, to have dharma, you accept that you are an untouchable, and this is how you can build up your karma, which can lead to good reincarnation. Okay, just a couple of other things. Most Hindus are vegetarians because they believe all living things have souls, may have been reincarnated. So that would be important. And if you remember the McDonald's menu we looked at the very beginning of India, you may have noticed that they didn't offer a lot of meat choices. The Ganges River that we talked about is considered sacred. It's used to purify souls. And cows are a life giver, so they are considered a sacred animal, and they wander freely around in the city, and you don't see a lot of hamburgers being made in India. Okay, so that is it in terms of Hinduism. The next video you're going to watch is Buddhism.